Warning: the following video may contain messages that are not suitable for all viewers. Please be aware that the use of any techniques or methods presented in this video is at your own risk, and we cannot be held responsible for any negative consequences that may result from their use. We urge you to use your judgment and discretion when viewing this video and to prioritize your own well-being and safety. Kiyotaka Ayanokoji as the manipulative prince. Niccolo Machiavelli's classic book, The Prince, has long been considered a blueprint for rulers on how to maintain and expand their power. It is a collection of tactics and strategies that Machiavelli believed could be used to manipulate the people around them and increase their own influence. Kiyotaka Ayanokoji, a main character from the classroom of the elite anime series, is a master manipulator. He uses various Machiavellian tactics to get what he wants and stay one step ahead of his opponents. He uses lies and deception to hide his true intentions, cunning strategies to outwit his opponents, and brute force to crush those who stand in his way. All these tactics are eerily similar to those outlined in The Prince. Ayanokoji's manipulation has earned him the title of the Manipulative Prince, which is an apt description of his Machiavellian behavior. He is not afraid to use whatever means necessary to achieve his goals, regardless of how morally questionable they may be. This willingness to do whatever it takes to succeed makes Ayanokoji a truly Machiavellic character. The importance of appearance. In Niccolo Machiavelli's book The Prince, the renowned philosopher highlights the importance of having a good public appearance in order to influence people. In his own words, Machiavelli said, "For the great majority of mankind are satisfied with appearances, as though they were realities, and are often more influenced by the things that seem than by those that are." This is a powerful statement, as it suggests that people can be fooled by appearances, rather than being able to discern the truth behind them. A classic example of this can be seen in literature and mythology, when men have been fooled by the beautiful appearance of women. For example, in the Greek legend of Troy, Paris was seduced by the beautiful goddess Aphrodite and ends up bringing destruction on his city. This demonstrates how powerful an attractive appearance can be, and how it can lead to disastrous consequences. This same concept is seen in Kiyotaka Ayanokoji from the anime series Classroom of the Elite. To those around him, Ayanokoji appears to be a harmless and boring person. Yet, in reality, he is manipulating people around him to get what he wants. He uses his seemingly harmless appearance to his advantage, as those around him are not able to see the true intentions he holds. In this way, Ayanokoji demonstrates Machiavelli's point about how people can be influenced by appearances rather than reality. The importance of appearance is highlighted through Kiyotaka Ayanokoji and Niccolo Machiavelli's works, showing how a person's external facade can be used to influence others. Through this, we are reminded that looks can be deceiving, and it is important to understand the reality behind someone's appearance before making any assumptions. The truth behind cautiousness. The Italian philosopher Niccolo Machiavelli said it best when he wrote, in his famous book, The Prince, that all courses of action are risky, so prudence is not in avoiding danger, but calculating risk and acting decisively. Make mistakes of ambition and not mistakes of sloth. Develop the strength to do bold things, not the strength to suffer. Kiyotaka Ayanokoji is a perfect example of this quote. He is willing to take risks and make bold decisions without hesitation, even when it could potentially put him in danger. He understands that it's impossible to avoid all risks, so prudence must be applied in order to make calculated decisions that will benefit him and his goals. Prudence is defined as the quality of being cautious, wise, and showing good judgment. It means looking beyond the surface level of an action or situation and instead looking at the potential consequences and rewards that come with taking a certain course of action. Ayanokoji has clearly mastered this concept, understanding that bold moves made with a thoughtful approach will yield greater results than simply avoiding danger altogether. Ayanokoji demonstrates Machiavelli's point perfectly. One must be bold and take risks in order to succeed, but those risks must be carefully evaluated in order to make the best decision possible. Ayanokoji's actions show that he has mastered the concept of prudence, using his keen insight to make smart and bold decisions that further his goals. The power of men's mind. Niccolo Machiavelli famously wrote in his book, The Prince, that minds are of three kinds. One is capable of thinking for itself, another is able to understand the thinking of others, and a third can neither think for itself nor understand the thinking of others. The first is of the highest excellence, the second is excellent, and the third is worthless. In this quote, Machiavelli highlights the importance of being able to think for oneself. Thinking for ourselves means that we are able to come up with creative ideas, solve problems, and make decisions without relying on others. This is something that Kiyotaka Ayanokoji from the Classroom of the Elite series excels at. Throughout the series, Ayanokoji is consistently shown to be able to think for himself. He uses his analytical skills to quickly and accurately assess situations, making plans on the fly to achieve his goals. He also demonstrates an understanding of human psychology, enabling him to manipulate people into doing what he wants without them even realizing it. This is a skill that allows him to stay one step ahead of his opponents and rivals. By thinking for himself and understanding others' thinking, Ayanokoji is able to gain an edge over his opponents and remain successful despite facing seemingly insurmountable odds. This is a great example of how powerful the mind can be when it is used in the right way. So take a lesson from Machiavelli and Ayanokoji, think for yourself and understand others' thinking, because it could be the key to success. The Lion and the Fox. Niccolo Machiavelli once said, "One must be a fox to recognize traps and a lion to frighten wolves," emphasizing the importance of using both intelligence and force in order to succeed. This mantra applies perfectly to Kiyotaka Ayanokoji, who can deftly maneuver himself out of tricky situations using his quick wit, as well as use brute force to overpower his enemies. Ayanokoji is adept at using intelligence to outsmart his opponents. He has an uncanny ability to predict the intentions and plans of those around him, and will often act preemptively in order to protect himself. He is also not afraid to use deceit or lies in order to gain the upper hand. He knows that sometimes it is necessary to be dishonest in order to accomplish one's goals, and he is willing to take the risk in order to get ahead. At the same time, Ayanokoji also understands when it is best to use brute force. He will use physical force or threats of violence in order to intimidate or subdue those that pose a threat to him. Even though he often chooses not to use violence as his primary recourse, he will not hesitate to do so when the occasion calls for it. Ayanokoji is the perfect example of how one must be both a fox and a lion in order to survive. By combining his intelligence with his strength, he is able to manipulate those around him and ensure that his plans are successful. In this way, he mirrors Machiavelli's advice, proving that there is much truth in the old saying. It's fascinating to see how Kiyotaka Ayanokoji from Classroom of the Elite uses the same principles described in Machiavelli's book The Prince. It's no wonder why he has achieved so much success and continues to thrive in such a competitive environment. His ability to understand the psychology behind manipulation and power dynamics is truly remarkable. We can only admire him from afar and take note of his strategies. To all of you who watched this post until the end, thank you for your dedication. I'm sure it was quite an educational journey, even if it was only in theory. Hope you found some values in this video. Thank you for watching.